We don't have many pure stashes for the IR spot this year. We have a couple speculations, but not many. Might have a guy on your depth chart that got hurt and you have him sitting there for a bit, but nothing pure that we're truly speculating on. We had Kyron Williams, but he's activated now, so that's one less guy to put in IR spot. However, there is one player left. We've talked about him a lot, and he is a great candidate for the IR spot if you have that available. Some leagues don't have IR spots, and you just have your active roster, and that's it. But if you got an IR spot, this is a good, trendy play for you to have, even though the odds are mounting against him, and that's Jameson. Williams, we got news the other day. Dan Campbell came out and said they're expecting him to come back sometime in December. December's a long time away, especially for fantasy football purposes, because we're almost in the playoffs at that point. We're in the playoffs in some leagues. We're deep into the season. It's almost done for us, depending on when he comes back. The thing about this is, if he's on your IR, it doesn't really matter. If he comes back, stays on IR for the whole year, it doesn't really matter. It's not hurting you. The only thing is, if you're picking him up, you got to drop a guy and pick a guy back up. So that is the situation you have to analyze on yourself. And you may be even able to get that guy back anyway, so it may not even be that big of a deal. Jameson Williams is rostered in about 42% of leagues right now. It's been a 5% decrease in the last month or so. But that means there's still meat on the bone that you just pick him up and get him on your IR spot. I do not suggest picking him up and having him on your active roster. So if you don't have an IR spot available, don't even think about it, because you're going to roll through a bunch of games, and this is a spot that's not going to be producing for you, that you can't use for your lineup. You don't have that option, and he may not come back. Or if he does come back, you may have a slow transition period. It may be just a couple games where he's just getting his feet wet, learning the routine of NFL game day, whatever it is. It may not amount to anything. But on the IR spot, you don't have that loss, because it doesn't count against you for your active roster, and you can only stash guys there who are on IR. Jameson Williams is on IR, and that's why you're speculating here. So it's not like you're getting him because it's a guaranteed thing. It's a cheap asset, a cheap lottery ticket for later in the year. And lottery tickets aren't supposed to be consistent, aren't supposed to be guaranteed, but when you can cash one in, you're getting a huge payout. And that's what we're looking at, because there is a chance that this could be a huge payout, because the Lions throw the ball a lot, throw a lot of deep balls. Jameson Williams, 4.3, 4.2 guy when it comes to speed, good burst. We don't know what we're getting when he comes back. We don't know how well it'll be or how much he has to come back from this injury, because this has been a bit for the season. So this could be a slow development as well, and we're looking at December. The odds are mounted very high against him. It is mounted very high, stacked to the ceiling. Another thing you want to think about is, once you get to the playoffs and say he starts hitting, what if he's hitting on another guy's roster, they bring him up off IR, and he can use them against you? Or if you're knocked out of the playoffs and he's hitting, but he's sitting on your IR spot, at least you can be a dick to the rest of your league mates who are in the playoffs and they can't use him. At least you could do that, because there's a chance that when he comes back and he's on the field, that you're eliminated. There's a good possibility of that. There's a good possibility that could happen. But if he comes back and he's producing and you're eliminated, your league mates can't use him, which means you're just being a dickhead to your league mates, which is always fun and dandy. At least you're going out on a high note in your fantasy league. Really, as if you have an IR spot, it's open. You don't have a guy waiting there to come back, and it's free, and you have someone on the back end of your roster that's droppable, you don't really give a shit about. Go ahead and pick him up and slide him there. If you don't have an IR spot, don't listen to me. Don't pay attention to Jameson Williams. It's going to be a long time to wait. It's going to be a long burn, and it's going to not help you until it's time for him to come back, and then you just rush to the waiver wire and get him, and he's still a risk from there because you don't know the transition period. But Jameson Williams is a big-time talent, high draft capital, lots of speed to burn, very productive at Alabama, a lot of good things, but this might be a 2023 thing right now. However, there is some strategy with them right now that you need to think about depending on your situation. And I still do these videos for strategy because it does help some people, and some people just need to know the news on the player or what to do or how to go about handling a player like Jameson Williams. To recap, if you don't have an IR spot, don't worry about him. Don't roster him. Only get him when there's a mad dash when he's coming back. But don't be too worried if you don't get him either, because there's a chance he won't transition. If you got an IR spot, a guy to burn on the back end of your roster that you don't care if you drop him, don't get him back, or there's other guys that you don't mind picking up as a stash as well, go ahead and pick him up. Slide him in IR. If he's already in your IR spot, you're good to go. You already know what you're doing with him. But that is what I got on Jameson Williams right now. This is probably more of a 2023 play. But when it comes to December and you just want that extra lottery ticket, this might be a player that you're going to wish you had on your team. Again, I said lottery ticket. Lottery tickets means most of the time you don't hit. How many times have you won the lottery? But if you do hit on that lottery, you're going to get a huge payout. And that's why people are stashing him on IR. That's why people are stashing Kyren Williams on IR. Not because they're expecting them to hit. Not because they are. Usually, most of these lottery tickets are wasted spots. Just like real lottery tickets. However, if you hit, it's a huge payout. And that's what we're chasing here. So if you're not into that type of thing, it's not for you. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on Jameson Williams. Do you have him stashed all year? Do you even have an IR spot? How is your league running? What's your league like? Do you even have IR? Is it straight benches? Do you have deep benches? A lot of us in a lot of different leagues here, from Debbie, Dynasty, Basic Redraft. Everything's different for everybody. That's why I'm kind of broad with these videos. So sometimes they help you, sometimes they don't. But I'm always here to help you out, which means you need to hit that subscribe button, because I'm here with the news drops. I'm here with strategy. I'm here for the waiver wire. I'm here for stashes. And I'm here for you when there's trade advice with all these videos I drop 2, 3, 4, 5 a day. But I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.